validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision. Cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
Welcome to This and That, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Real quick, special shout out to Satellite. Satellite was here before the show. He was 6th time on the map. I got to give that special shout out to Satellite. He be on time when we ain't on time. I tell you what, I really appreciate that. It holds me accountable to having to start the show at exactly when I say I'm going to start the show. So, you know, that gives me the due diligence of trying to start this 5 minutes early to make sure I'm already in the house before he gets here. I'm going to see what I can do about pulling that off tomorrow. Because I'm supposed to at least tee it off at 10:30 Central Standard Time, about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, and 7:30 California time, up until daylight savings time rolls over in 4 days. And at that point, we will be starting at exactly where we're supposed to be starting at, exactly 10 o'clock. So that means I got to start preparing for the show an hour earlier so that I can get everything situated for you guys. However, regardless of the fact, you know, word is bond, I'm supposed to start it on time. And if Mr. Satellite's going to hold me accountable, first person accountability, it is on me. I was getting ready for the show. I didn't like the suit that I was putting on. I had to change it, put on a different one, because, you know, I try my best to wear something different every day. And I got different suits, so I try to mix and match. And, you know, I haven't worn this blazer in a while, so I figure, let's throw this suit on. So really appreciate Mr. Satellite being there before the show kicked off. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. If you guys have interest in coming on to the show in real time, you can always click that link that's going into the comment section right now. Approve the mic, approve the camera. And in that particular situation, if you're over the age of 18, we'll bring you up onto the show. But if you look like you're a little bit too young to be up on the set, or if there is some shenanigans being observed, because I see you in the green room before you pop on. So if you're not looking like you're serious about jumping up here and being on the show, then I'm not gonna add you in here. So I can see everybody that comes in before I put you on the screen. I'll let you know if you prefer not to have yourself seen on the thing, but you want to be heard. Once I confirm that you're an adult, I can let you know that I'm going to put you up, which gives you the opportunity to turn off your camera so that you're not seen if you're having a bad hair day, if your weave is messed up, if your edge control then ran out and your edges is all off tilt, whatever the case may be. You don't have to be seen, but you can still be heard. We've had quite a few fans come onto the show during the live. While we're small time, y'all guys can get in here while y'all can get in here. But when we start getting big time, you guys are going to have to start earning it to get up here. So, the more valuable it is, the more you have to get done to get up there. Anyway, beyond that fact, if you're under the age of 18, you got to leave your comments in the comment section. Keep all your comments appropriate. We have had to take actions against Golf of America for putting their post in here that was highly inappropriate. And we've had a couple of them that I've had to take actions against throughout the year, but not that many. I do allow a little bit of trolling and I do a little bit of shenanigans in the channel. But anything that starts leaning towards hate speech or anything that starts leaning towards inappropriate content, note between YouTube not even allowing your comments to be seen by the other members of the channel. In addition to that, if I'm looking at it and it's just completely uncalled for, it will be removed. So sometimes nobody can even see what's being said just because of the sensitive nature, because of YouTube's community guidelines that all of us in the comment section, as well as myself, have to adhere to. So while we have a First Amendment right to say whatever we want to say, they also don't have to air it. So let's be mindful of that. Remember, we're live 7 nights a week. Every night of the week we're here. We try to be on time, but we don't always do that. So, I try to put my word on that, but I can't say that I'm going to guaranteedly be here on the dot every time until I get used to this daylight savings time situation. Because when daylight savings time stopped, that threw me through a loop. I was ready for everything when everything was late night, and then everything became early morning, and I was like, whoo. So 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, no days off. I typically get into a burnout mode, and that typically causes me to end up late. But, I could balance my schedule a little bit better. First person accountability. I can't blame it on everybody else or the workload that I have, because I allow myself to have that workload, but it allows me to become more successful in a shorter period of time. I'm doing more stuff in less days over a larger quantity of hours, which allows me to get more things done in a shorter period of time. Even though time will still take time, being successful is not something that happens overnight. Outside of the one-hit wonders where people can hit it big overnight, be an overnight sensation, whatever it is that they're doing, and essentially strike it rich off of any type of short notice, short-term action. The difference is that hitting it big on a one-off and staying big after that is two different things. Setting a solid foundation for the long haul allows for coverage under the fluctuations of investments. And that's one of the things that we're not paying attention to. We're not paying attention to the ability to set up a stable foundation for our future, not just playing catch up with our past. Because when we're dealing with past debts, we're dealing with charge-offs, we're dealing with collections and stuff to that effect. We're taking all of our present money and throwing it down to catch up with our past. Special shout out to Max the Poser and Joe, his father. Where's TF Fireball? Whenever he dives in, you learned a new word. No, we're not. We're actually talking about England today. I did tell you we're going to talk about the properties in Egypt, so I think I'm gonna throw Egypt in there next week, and then we're supposed to be talking about New Zealand after that. Uh, Definitely S smash that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you guys always hit that like and subscribe button. And if you can join that membership, you can follow the lead of Max the Poser, who has thrown us a few dozen contributions, substantial contributions to the podcast, to the success of the podcast, and we greatly appreciate that. Even though YouTube took half of it, the fact is that he was able to show us appreciation for the things that we try to do on this podcast, with providing you guys with knowledge and information to make you guys better people as you grow up. And really, the goal is to help you guys get whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in life accomplished. You know, I'm not going to tell you that your life is good or bad. You know whether or not your life is good or bad. I just know that there's another way. He said TF Fireball has knee surgery. That's why he can't join. I doubt it. I doubt it, because he shouldn't be on his knees long enough to require knee surgery. Oh. But anyway, back to it. I try to give you guys the knowledge and information that y'all need to be successful. And in doing so, the goal is for you to take the information that I give you, do your own research on top of that, and try to focus your attention on what it is that you're trying to accomplish in life to make yourself a better person and make yourself more successful for yourself. Self-gratification based on your accomplishments and achievements. You don't want to be middle-aged or older in a situation where you are wishing that you had done whatever it is that you were supposed to do in life, or whatever decision-making process that you were supposed to go down, the path that you were supposed to take in life that you had thought was set out for you, that got interfered with or interrupted by poor decision-making skills. We want to make sure that we help you guys navigate past that. Now, everybody's life individually is unique. There isn't one specific way to go about doing it. And that's why every day I talk about something different, because something that I talk about on this channel might resonate with you. I don't know who you are, but you need to hear it. And once you hear it, you're like, hey, he said X, Y, and Z. And then you could just start looking into it. Now, granted, I'm using a more sophisticated AI search engine to find all of the information. And I don't just ask one question. I usually ask 12 or 15 or more in order to consolidate all of the information in a linear fashion so that I can get everything that I want answered, which gives me the ability to present it to you guys. And sometimes I run out of time, which is one of the reasons why I end up starting a show late, because I'm still organizing all of the facts and information, because the stuff that I bring to you guys on the show is not just my personal opinion. It's not like a personal experience all the time. A lot of the times the stuff that I bring you guys onto this channel has been heavily researched before the show, and I have a show every day, so I'm doing research every day. I'm learning new things every day. I'm coming to understand a lot of stuff that requires critical thinking to put these things together. Now, foresight comes from the ability to take past knowledge and experiences, put it together, and hypothesize a outcome based on the probability that outcome would occur, considering the information that you have. This is called a theory. For those of you who didn't know that, that's where theories come from. Now, hypothetical or theoretically, if the information that I have is 90% correct or better, the likelihood of the outcomes that I predict to occur 90 to 95%. The mode of accuracy is significantly high. So therefore, the only thing that would make my statements invalid would be time, meaning that I was right this year. The show might be spot on 5 years from now, but something might change over the next 6 years where some of the stuff that I'm talking about right now today might not be as relevant in the future. But as we're live every night of the week, you will be able to get updated, relevant information. So if you just make sure that you keep following us, you'll be able to see what's going on. You said, can you shout out my old brother, Al? Oh, well, so that is supposed to be a joke. But before we do the joke because he wants me to do a special shout out to Alcoholic, as his first name is Al, last name Koholic. But we really got to give a special shout out to the alcoholics, the drug addicts, the potheads. We got to give a special shout out to Molly takers. We got to give a special shout out because you got to understand, like, you guys stimulate the economy with your bad decision making skills. So while he's joking about special shout out to the alcoholics, I got to give a special shout out to everybody who's wasteful with their money, because truth be told, if you were being more responsible with your money, the economy wouldn't be flooded with bad decision making incentives, because you can only buy drugs under the table with the money that you earned or stole from somebody who earned their money. And the drugs are only going to be sold to you because there's a demand for the drugs, which means that somebody's got to make it, which means that there's a demand for the materials, which means somebody's got to sell that, which means that there's going to be a demand to create it, which means that somewhere along the lines, the economy is going to make money off of these stupid decisions. So I'm just going to give a special shout out to everybody. Speaking of, I just want to, special shout out to Zhang Wei. First time tonight. He says that nice shades. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I hear those shades are $800 or so. Yeah, they're about $805 and some change a piece. Very expensive. And so Usman is here. He said he was going to be here for the England show. Usman is here. Putting the conspiracy theories to rest with this. Xander was born in a suit. Yes. I should have been like Boss Baby, right? Special shout out to Usman and Zhang Wei 3.0. So yeah, we're supposed to be discovering the profitable investments in England. I'm also going to touch base a little bit on some of the affordable places to go in England. So I want you guys to join me as I dive into the world of investments and challenge us to find the most profitable opportunities in England. Now, that means, Usman, you should be here with a paper and pen, or sitting there with a laptop and able to type this stuff down, because I got a lot of stuff for you specifically, sir. Answers to a lot of your questions. I made sure that I didn't stop looking until I found the answers to a lot of your questions. And I also put that survey, special shout out to Jay. What's up, Jay? What's up? What's up? I also put into the membership, you had asked me to derive a list. I actually did two lists, one for the public that shows ladies what men are interested in higher value women. And then I also did another list, if I remember correctly, was the red flags that we need to look at. I'm looking at how it is a massive, like, you just got to keep typing kind of thing. So as opposed to being able to upload PDFs. So that means that I would have to, when I start talking to you guys about the documents and stuff that are going into the membership, I would have to, you said, why didn't you show a little more respect? My taxes pay for your food stamps. Well, your taxes might pay for everybody else's food stamps, but I don't deal with food stamps, so your taxes don't pay for nothing for me. But you could take some of your tax money and donate it to me and give yourself a tax deduction. Otherwise, yeah, it's doesn't do anything for me at all. But I appreciate your notions. So yeah, I found a lot of information. But yeah, what I was saying was I put some stuff on the channel in the post. And then I also, some is public and some is for the members, because I'm starting to build stuff up for the membership that is in line with what we're talking about right now. Because the stuff that used to go into the membership is highly outdated, and the stuff that's highly outdated is not gonna benefit us right now. So I want to put up more fresh stuff. So at least once a week, I'm trying to challenge myself to create um the documents and information that we need to benefit. So things like offshore private trusts. For those of us that are in America that you want to get you an offshore private trust, like that information is beneficial to you. Those of us that want to get an offshore private trust in a country that does not tax the party with a personal guarantor, you want to be able to learn how to set all that stuff up. We want to get that stuff together. Then we also want to start working on making other trusts. So we have to, as I line these things up, I want to put them in there and make sure that you guys are able to find the information on the channel somewhere, because it's not like a WordPress that allows me to kind of move all the stuff around. I probably should make a WordPress website related to the channel and then just start adding each day's videos to that WordPress channel, so that when I start adding documents to that WordPress page, that it will just stick the stuff into it'll link everything to the video or whatever. But I haven't found the free time with the other contracts that I'm working on in Asia to literally iron out that extra level of creating the brand for this channel. But I believe that might benefit you guys coming soon. So if any event that I can afford to pay for IT somewhere, then I might go ahead and put that effort in there, because if I did that, we would see a heck of a lot more traffic on a channel, and you guys will have more access to the written documents that are not accessible on the YouTube channel. But if worst case scenario, if I can create like a Dropbox or something for the channel, I'm gonna figure something out to make sure that you guys get all of the information that you need. Now, Usman says that it's Ramadan right now. Yeah, because today's Ash Wednesday. Good Friday is in a couple of days. Apparently, I completely forgot about it. We were supposed to be doing 40 days of Lent, so fish and burgers and fries. I don't know how to feel about that, because I was enjoying burgers and fries, so gotta change up my diet for a little bit. He says that he's fasting right now, and his sleeping routine is different right now, hence why it's been a while. Bro, my sleeping routine is different right now, and it's partially because of the time change that I'm preparing for, because I'm not good with a 1 hour time difference. And it's like my natural body clock is slowly trickling into that 1 hour time zone. So this is going to be 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock right now, but this is going to be 10 o'clock in 4 days. And we would have started 15 minutes early in 4 days. So right now I'm technically 15 minutes late when I start the show, but in 4 days I'll be on time. That's what we're going to try to do this. But don't worry. The information is always up here. I don't see myself deleting any of the stuff that I've put up on the channel over the past 6 months, because this is stuff that will outstand the test of time. It is up there while it's trending, but the information is definitely not time sensitive information. Now, the value of certain stocks is going to change, and the valuations of the stocks is going to change, so that information might play out. But all of the other information that I give you guys about how to invest, how to build up a business, how to set yourselves up for financial success, that stuff is not going to depreciate over time. So I don't see myself taking anything down. Look, your internet too. He said, also, my internet connection is lagging today. If I time out, it's because I don't have internet connection. Well, that's been happening all over the place. T-Mobile has been doing a shitty job with transitioning over to fiber optics. They are going to be using landlines, which ironically, South Central Bell used to do landlines back in the 80s and 90s. They took down and dug up all of the landlines and started doing cellular towers. Cellular towers were fantastic until they started having too many people using cellular towers. And then when a cellular tower goes down, they don't have the ability to maintain stable connection. And then we have to deal with the weather that's knocking down the cell towers and power outages and all this other stuff. And if you have underground landlines, they're probably going to survive a lot better than the above ground cell towers, and they'll be able to provide a wider connection. So invest in some T-Mobile stock. They'll be able to spread it across the country and therefore have the capabilities to spread it around the world. But they just started in 2024. They just started on the East Coast. So by the end of 2025, hopefully they make it halfway across the country. But until they do, we're dealing with Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is not operating to my advantage either. I actually tried to utilize 1080p on a couple of shows this past week. And you can see, if you look at yesterday's show and day before yesterday's show and the day before that, it actually froze on us, where I was buffering for a minute. And I was like, man, this sucks. And I got a new tower. They gave me a new thing here. So now I got 2 of them here. So I got 2 cell towers. And there isn't a way to share the bandwidth between one device. The device can only connect to one at a time. But I got 2 cell towers here to make sure that half of the stuff is operating on one tower and half of the stuff is operating on the other tower, to make sure that I get the best connection for the podcast. I told you guys, this stuff isn't free. So we're in a situation where we just got to deal with the internet to the best of our abilities. Be patient. I'll come back. Thanks for keeping the live stream up for revisiting. Oh, sir, it would not make sense for me to do the live and then take it down, because the quantity of traffic that the channel itself will make is going to be based off of the life of the video up on the internet. So the longer the videos stay up on the internet, the more people come to the channel and look at the channel. The more people that come to the live, the more people that are going to come back to the live, and the more people that come to the live at the beginning and the end of the live get to hear the soundtrack that was dropped from Alatino Music from Switzerland. And the more people that like the song is going to go look for the song. So that's either going to increase traffic on Alatino Music's page on YouTube, or it's going to start picking up more purchases wherever music is sold. So it benefits me to keep it up, because everyone gets to hear there were 3 different songs for Higher Ground, non-negotiables, and Expectation and Protocols that was made by Alatino Music for this podcast. So and the lyrics are amazing, but it's more like a rock metal kind of genre, but it's a live band, so I don't care. I love it. Like, to me, I feel like if I could beat Travis Scott for that hardcore title, like, I've already got my own intro music. I could just use the podcast intro music and just go in there and maybe use like Mr. Perfect's intro music or intro pose, and use my theme music from the show, and just go out there, and I'm already a pre-made superhero. Probably get the $1 million title, the $1 million man title, and get out there and make it work. So yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely and then on top of that, so I tell you that because the thing is, I'm not just doing it for you guys, I'm also doing it for me. I benefit from you guys learning from me on several levels, not just 2 levels. Level 1, the popularity that I end up getting by accident, because the only way that I can get paid for doing this is if a lot of people know who I am. Number 2, I build a legacy, because my success is the success of the people around me. Therefore, people around the world will know who I am, and people around the world will know what I've done for them and be able to have improved their lives as a result, which means that no matter where I go in the world, third benefit, I get treated better because people already know who I am and they have benefited because of me. So my presence now will then benefit being wherever I am, because anytime somebody is grateful for the things that you do to them, they're going to reciprocate. So I'm not doing this for the expectation of reciprocation. I'm doing this for the expectation that I'm not going to be treated like shit if I walk through life like Jesus, just taking care of everybody that I see along the way. Because at the end of the day, less people will give me hard times if I'm not selfish. The other thing I do this for you guys because I know that the only way that I can change the world and make the world a better place is if I take the first person initiative and start making changes. So by talking about it on a channel, I raise awareness. By raising awareness on a channel, you guys get to learn new things. And then the things that you learn, you implement. If I can eliminate poverty level standards of living by showing wasteful people how not to waste money, then at the end of the day, I accomplished something in life. If we can eliminate the poverty class in every country because everybody learned how to put their money in another place where they can make money for them, that I would have accomplished something in life. Making myself a billionaire is nothing, but being able to have a few billion people make themselves a millionaire, that might be awesome. A few billion people make themselves a six-figure, seven-figure self-employed individual. That's an accomplishment. I don't necessarily have to be out for number one. I'm pack mentality. I'm out for the team. So with that being said, let's get started with what we were talking about with England, because investing in England has never been more exciting. He's getting his paper and pen together. With the current market trends, there are opportunities emerging left and right. And today we're going to explore some of the most profitable ones. So there's a lot of them, but we're going to talk about the profitable ones. One of the biggest challenges investors face when trying to identify profitable opportunities in England is the sheer amount of information available, because it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the data and lost sight of what's important. So you got to understand, when I'm trying to figure out what you guys need to hear for today, which is why I don't always have, a few months ago, I used to have like the next 30 days mapped out. Like I just knew what I was doing a show on because I had mapped out the last 30 days. Now, not so much so. Now I do like 3 to 4 days at a time, 2-3 days at a time. And I'm like, let me make sure that this makes sense before I put it together and put it up there on a show. And then I do the research for the show after I create the show. So consolidating the information prevents you from having an information overload, which allows you to be able to navigate through the information better. So trying to figure this stuff out, I know, Usman, you had a headache because you first person accountability, you went out there and tried it. And you came back and told me, hey, man, it is not working the way we thought it was going to work. But I did tell you they wasn't going to let foreign nationals like really slide into their private companies. And they got a lot of these companies that are publicly traded, but the ones that are privately traded, you got to know somebody to get in there. Now, another major hurdle is the lack of transparency in some of these investment options, which is what we're talking about right now, making it difficult to separate the wheat from the shaft. Paralysis by analysis. You're right. You are right. I was like, dang, he would love this one. He would love this one. But then I was looking at it and I was like, shit, that one is not publicly traded. That one is a private entity. I don't have data on this one. So I got the ones that I could get data on without actually having to call the company from America and be like, hey, give me all your financial records. So the ones that I got data on are publicly traded ones. And then I got you some that are not only publicly traded, but third-party trading platforms that are exclusively, or not exclusively, but specifically utilized in England. That way you'll be able to look for these. And I found a stock trade ticks forum as well. So you'll be able to know what to type in to find the companies that we're talking about today, and then be able to do your due diligence with uploading money and investing in it and other such. Now, before you upload any money to any trading platform, you want to make sure that you check out the fees. You want to check out the cost to upload, the cost to deposit it back into your account. And you also want to make sure that the shares that you're looking for are on that platform before you put your first dollar on that platform. Because if what you're looking for isn't there, it is a waste of time. And it's a waste of money, especially if they're going to charge you to take your money back. Also, you want to compare that as the cost of doing business. So the amount of money that you put up there, subtracting the fees to put it up there, then you have to leave it in there for a certain period of time so that it reaches a level of profit after the withdrawal amount comes out. So you want to make sure that you're calculating all of that stuff in your analysis. Now, also another thing you have to note is that they typically do it by percentages. Not a lot of platforms have a fixed rate where it's a certain number of dollars or a certain number of cents. They will have a specific percentage rate with a minimum amount where, for example, like they'll say like 0.3% with a 72% minimum, something like that. And then you just know that it's going to be at least this amount. But as the money goes higher, the value of your trades go higher, the percentage is going to have them take a larger chunk of change out of your investment. So you have to look at that before you start doing your trades, because that's going to come out of your profit share. Usman says the connect came through. Now I can start saying I know a guy. And that was the other reason why I do this, because in order for me to have an awesome network, I have to be valuable to my network. And in order for me to be valuable to my network, since I'm not throwing a bunch of money around, I have to be an asset to my network by relaying knowledge and information to my network. Therefore, the individuals that I meet on this and that, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between, will benefit from me with knowledge, which will put money in their pocket, which then in return, when I'm in their country, they may relay to me knowledge that'll save me money while I'm traveling, which will make it make sense for the both of us. Because while you may not invest in me financially, you don't have to invest in me financially, because it is either knowledge, money, or effort that goes into a deal to make the deal successful. You either know what to do, you throw the money down to pay for it to get done, or you do the work that is required to get it done. That's the three ways that you tackle any obstacle in business. That's any obstacle in life. So the genius scientists might not have the physical manpower to make it happen, and they may not have the money to fund it. But if a genius scientist has a billionaire with a blank check, and that billionaire with a blank check can pay for the manpower, we can build a Stargate and teleport across the world, across the universe if we wanted to. But you need knowledge and strength and money. And strength is different from power, because power comes from the financial control and political control that you have, the people that you know. But, physical manual labor is what you need to also aid you in success. So it's not just what you know, it's also who you know and how much they're willing to pay to get your objectives done. You got to remember that. Furthermore, the UK is ever-changing regulatory environment can be daunting for even the most seasoned investors. And finally, there is the emotional aspect of investing, where there is fear as well as greed. And these are very powerful emotions that can cloud our judgment and lead to impulse decisions. When it comes to identifying profitable opportunities, it's essential to have a clear understanding of the market and its trends, which means that you got to kind of take a look at it, analyze what's been happening over the past 6 months, analyze what's been happening over the past few years. I came across somebody's channel on TikTok. This gentleman does little 1 minute, 1 to 3 minute shorts talking about dividend stocks that you can invest in that are supposedly high yield dividend stocks. And he does 3 to 5 every show. I do like 26 or 30 in one show, but his is like a minute long or something like that. So I understand 3 to 5. So I was like, dope. Somebody else that does what I do. So I followed him and I sent him a message, and I waiting on him to respond to me. And I'm like, hey, you could collab on my show when we cover some more stocks and stuff. And I don't know how I can get his TikTok channel on our thing, but if we can make that work, I'll bring him on live. And because he's got like 28,000 TikTokers that's watching him, but he's talking about different dividend paying stocks. And for those of us that are financially challenged, dividend paying stocks are the best way to start off, because you put your money up there and they keep giving you money back, which gives you the ability to do one of two things: either take the money they're giving you back and take care of stuff that you can't afford to cover with your basic bills, or you can utilize that to add with the change that you're adding to your shares and increase the values of your stocks over time, which gives you the ability to increase your wealth because they're renting your money from you. That dividend cash paying stocks is when they're renting your money from you. So it's better for those of us that are not sitting on a large quantity of money to have dividend paying stocks. This means when we're dealing with maintaining the market trends and watching how everything's going, we're going to be doing our due diligence and we're going to be researching thoroughly and staying up to date with the latest news and developments, which is why I thought that guy was fantastic, because if he came onto the show twice a month and just gave us a list of ones that he's found, and I think I can throw up an extra channel up here at no additional cost onto the StreamYard, but I know the StreamYard charges me like $75 for 4 or 5 different channels up here, but I might be able to connect that guy and have his live stream on our live stream so that his fans can see us too. And then we can like throw some people all over the place and do a joint merger kind of thing. You know, I'm always thinking about investment opportunities that benefits everybody involved, because if he can get more followers from us and we can get more followers from him, everybody's still learning how to make money in more places and having more investment opportunities. So this is going to require us to have a certain level of discipline and patience, and investing in the long-term game that demands careful consideration and calculated risks. Even with me bringing somebody onto the show, you're sitting here listening to me calculate how he can benefit from me having him on my show, not just how I can benefit from having him on my show, because it's all about what I can do for you in business. If I can make you more successful, if I can get you more clout, if I can exacerbate your situation in a positive fashion, then I can benefit from your presence. But if it's a one-sided situation where I'm the only person that's going to benefit from this, it's not worth it for you to be involved. And if it's not worth it for you to be involved, I'm not even interested in pitching you anything, because I can't do anything for you. Now, that doesn't stop me from saying, by all means, volunteer and do me a favor. By all means, dive in and hold me down in some way, shape, or form. But I'm not going to proposition a one-sided deal. It doesn't make sense, because if I was on a receiving end of that one-sided deal, I would think that's not fair to me. So I'm not going to put that out there. I'm a man of uniformity. I live my life that way. I don't just talk to you guys about this with the social inequality. I live this lifestyle. So there are several non-interest-based debt investments available in 2025. I hope you got your pencil out, because here are some of the ones that we'll focus on today. The preferred stocks are the hybrid securities, offering fixed dividends, typically higher than common stock dividends, without relying on traditional interest. Oh my goodness. Pause, y'all. Crypto Crazy wants to free Diddy. Now, I don't know why you would free Diddy. Kelly is out, right? And then Cosby is out, right? And Mystical should be getting out for the second time, right? So I mean, all 4 or 5 of these dudes all should be in the same boat with Chris Brown, and I don't know why they all ended up free in some way, shape, or form. But this young, but Diddy's supposed to get 30 plus 1 year, so I don't know why you want to free Diddy. The Jergens baby oil stock has dropped because Diddy is no longer. So, moving on. These preferred stocks provide stable income streams with less risk than common stocks, but more potential returns than bonds. Now, the Treasury inflation protection securities, TIPS, while technically interest-bearing, TIPS principles adjust with inflation, providing a hedge against rising prices. So you want to pay attention to that, Usman. The return is based on both the fixed interest rate and the inflation adjustment, making it partially non-interest based. Now, green bonds, these fixed income securities fund projects with environmental benefits. While they typically pay interest, some green bonds are structured with returns tied to the success of the funded projects rather than the fixed interest rates. Equity linked bonds combine features of bonds and stocks with returns partially based on the performance of an underlying equity index or basket of stocks rather than solely on interest, such as VOO if you're in the US area, and that's like 503 stocks. There's another one that I have to go back and double check for the rest of you guys, but for the guys that are in the US market, VOO is one that you should probably invest in. Now, return-based financing involves investing in a company's future revenue stream with returns based on a percentage of companies' earnings rather than interest payments. Now, we can identify some companies listed on the London Stock Exchange, LES, that may have non-interest based debt investments or alternative financing structures. So the first one is Intermediate Capital Group PLC. Their number is ICG. That's an asset management company that might offer alternative financing solutions. 3I Group PLC. That is a private equity and venture capital company that could potentially engage in non-interest-based investments. Hargreaves Lansdowne PLC, known as HL Dot. That is in a investment management company that might offer alternative investment products. And St. James Place PLC, which is STJ, that is a wealth management company that could potentially provide non-interest-based investment options. Another one is Schroders PLC, and that is identified as SDR, an asset management company that also might offer alternative investment strategies. So we got to now Al Raj Bank, Al Rahi Bank, the one that you asked me about before, on the Saudi exchange, Tadawul, Tadawul. That's a lowercase l. That one is 1120. Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank is identified as ADIB on Abu Dhabi Security Exchange, ADX. Kuwait Finance House, KFH, is on Kuwait Stocks Exchange. Maybach Islamic, capital MAY, colon, MK, is on Bursa Malaysia stock option. BlackRock, BLK, is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Invesco, IVZ, is listed on the New York Exchange. And Bank of London and Middle East, BLME Holdings PLC, is listed on the NASDAQ Dubai Exchange with the ticker symbol BLME and ISIN. I hope you're writing these down. You ready? GB00BB0RJ13. Oh, sorry, 13. Now I'm going to put this in the comments for you, because I want you to have this one specifically, because that's a lot of information. Now write this down. The ISIN is right there for you. That way you'll be able to find it. Moving on. As a publicly traded company, it's likely that some major online brokers and trading platforms that offer access to international markets may allow trading of BLME stocks. The London Stock Exchange, LSE, has partnerships with Middle Eastern markets, which might facilitate trading of BLME stocks. Although this is not explicitly stated, it is an option there. Now, FinTech Solutions, tailored for Islamic banking. I got you right here. I want you to take a look at some of these. I go out of the way for you guys. Zakat calculations, Hala investments, and Sharai complaint peer-to-peer lending platforms. There are several third-party trading platforms offering access to trading on the London Stock Exchange. So you have Interactive Brokers, and this is an actual platform. It's called Interactive Brokers. So you can't say I ain't told you. You've got Interactive Brokers, and this platform provides direct access to the LES trading, offering a wide range of securities, including stocks, options, futures, currencies, bonds, and funds. Torquoise. This one is a subsidiary of the London Stock Exchange Group, and Torquoise offers trading of approximately 4,300 stocks across 19 major European and emerging markets, including LSE listed securities. You had electronic trading platform by LSEGFX. And you're going to have to look into each one of these, Usman, because these are all different trading platforms. And while primarily focused on FX trading, this particular platform is part of the London Stock Exchange Group and may offer some access to LSE trading. Now you have some various online brokers. The LSE partners with numerous online brokers to provide trading access. While specific platforms aren't named, the LSE offers a tool to help investors find suitable brokers for trading on their exchange. Now, you asked me about some that specifically worked for the Al Rahid Islamic thing. So you had two of them specifically that focused on the Al Rahid Islamic thing. And grab both of these for you. Now, these two, come on now, quit playing. It was supposed to give me all of that. Oh, it got most of it. These two companies, TradingView and investing.com, TradingView is the platform charting the analyst tools for Al Rahid Bank stocks, and the symbol, let me give you that symbol that you're going to need for the Al Rahid stock. So I want to make sure that you got that. So you can't say that you ain't get it. That'll help you find it. Now, the other platform, investing.co, provides the real-time stock prices and information analysis for that same Al Rahid Bank. But let's see. Yeah, and it's giving you the same symbol. So it has the same symbol, TADAWUL 1120. It is giving you the same symbol. So you'll be able to find that in more than one location when you start looking for this particular stock option. Going back to double check and make sure that, yeah, that's it. Now, you have several third-party trading platforms specifically available in England that offer access to trading on the London Stock Exchange. So I've already mentioned to you the Interactive Brokers. eToro is one that I haven't mentioned before. So if you're not in London, you can still use the interactive brokers, but eToro specifically is going to offer access to 608 different LSE listed stocks, both as CFDs and as real underlying assets for individuals that are trading from England. Pepperstone, here's another one that I'm going to give to you guys. Pepperstone. See, I'm copying and pasting. I got 46 pages of stock option information up here. Now, let me just throw this into the comment section for you. This platform allows traders access to 100 UK equities listed on the LSE, and these are going to also be listed as CFDs. Now you have FP Markets. FP Markets is another one. So with all of these options, bro, you should be able to put your money where you need it to be without compromising your religious beliefs. This broker provides access to LSE listed stocks as CFDs through MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms. So I'm going to make sure that you know that that is through MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms. There's another one that is XTB. Now, I did not go the extra mile and find out if any of these options are listed in Amazon, iTunes, Google, or Apple Store. It didn't let me put it up there. Hold on. Let me put it back up there one more time because it did a XBT. There it is. I forgot because Twitch has this thing that doesn't allow what looks like URLs to go into the comment section. So XBT or XTB, this broker offers access to the LSE's listed companies through both CFDs and the real underlying assets. Special shout out to Pat. How much should a single guy have in his savings realistically? Side note specifically, you should have 6 to 18 months worth of money in your emergency fund, whether that's a savings account, accessible checking account, liquidatable stock option, because as those of us in America and around the world experienced the world stopping for 9 months consistently, where nobody was allowed to leave their houses during quarantine for COVID, you could find yourself unemployed for 6 months easy. The average American person can find themselves, and the average person that gets into a car crash can find themselves out of work for 6 to 9 months as they rehabilitate from the car crash, especially for those individuals that are trying to collect compensation from the crash. So when you're looking at 180 days minimum is the amount of money that you're supposed to have, where all of your basic needs, food, lights, water, rent, cell phone bills, cable bills, subscriptions, car insurance, gas for the car, all of those expenses need to be covered for a minimum of 6 months. But when the world stopped for almost a year and it took 3 years for the world to bounce back, you need 18 months worth of money, because if you break a bone, in all honesty, the doctor is going to keep you out of work for 18 months. If you're the breadwinner, you got no money for 18 months. And to prevent yourself from suffering financially, you typically go back to work sooner than recommended by the doctor, so you don't heal properly, which causes you to have lifelong pains and discomfort for the rest of your life, because you can't stay home. You have to go back to work and make that money. So if you have 18 months worth of money on the sidelines, then you can stop working and recover from a bad injury. Also, you want to look at how much is that money supposed to be gauged at. Well, look at your standard of living. If you're spending $5,000 a month, you want to multiply that $5,000 a month by 18. If you're spending $10,000 a month, you want to multiply that $10,000 a month by 18. If you're spending $2,000 a month, you want to put that $2,000 a month multiplied by 18. Now, if you are living above your financial standard of living, then truth, you can listen to me and do the 80-20 or 70-30 or any of the other budgeting strategies that I've put up on the channel over the past 9 months and shave off some unnecessary expenses so that you don't have to spend as much, but you can still put that standard of living aside. If your paycheck is $3,000 a month and you're spending the whole paycheck, then that means that you need to put $3,000 a month times 18 into your bank account so that if in the event that you can't go to work for 18 months, you got money. Likewise, people get fired. It's harder to find a job these days. So if you get fired from a job, it might take you a year to bounce back off of that. Yeah, in some countries, you have unemployment compensation that allows you to get 50 or 60% of your income to cover your standard of living for 12 months until you go back to work. But they're giving you a percentage of your annual salary. They're not giving you your whole annual salary. You're still going to have to subsidize that. Those of us that live from check to check, you understand that 6 weeks is 3 paychecks. If you miss 3 consecutive paychecks, you're homeless because you can only miss the rent twice. And after that, they're evicting you. You can miss the first month's rent, but come the first of the next month, if you don't have any money for the rent, they're setting you up for eviction. They're only allowing you to be 30 days behind on the rent plus interest. So the difference between you and a homeless person is missing 3 consecutive paychecks in a row. So to answer your question, safely, you want to have accessible and liquidatable about 6 months to 18 months worth of money set aside. Now you can do it from a different perspective because common bills like the phone bill, the light bill, the cable bill, the water bill, these are bills that are fixed amounts. So you can overpay the bill by 6 months. You can overpay the bill by 18 months, and it'll have a negative balance up there of how much money they owe you for services. And they will take the money that you utilize for services out of the money that they owe you until that balance reaches 0. And then they'll send you a positive balance of how much you owe them. So you can overpay your utility bills and basic needs bills for 18 months. You can't overpay your car note. You can't overpay your rent. You can overpay your car insurance, but your car insurance renews every 6 months unless you find an insurance that allows you to do once every 12 months. But the fact is that any regular occurring utility bills, that is a fixed service bill, if you overpay on those for 3 to 6 months, 9 months, you have the ability, in case of an emergency, that if you ain't got it, you can let that bill go once or twice, and the bill is never going to be late because you also have to maintain a good payment history in spite of financial deficit to maintain the ability to borrow from your credit reports, which I have to put in effort sometime over the next couple of weeks to deal with the 3 major credit bureaus so I can tell y'all how to handle that, because now that they're being sued, now is the perfect time to take advantage of disputing a lot of stuff on your credit report. There have been some tips and tricks on a lot of other platforms, and I'm going to try some of them. And if they work, I want to be able to come back and tell you, yeah, it worked. And this is what I did, and this is what you need to do so that you can remove some of these things off your credit report to boost your credit score up. I can't guarantee you how much it'll get boosted up, but the larger the value of debt is that gets removed off of your credit score, the higher up your credit score gets, because your credit score is based off of the charged off debt that you owe versus the available credit that you have. And the credit utilization reduces the available credit that you have. And your debt to credit is your credit score. Your debt to income is your loan option. So you want to live under 40% of your income, and you want to have less than 30% of debt to credit. You're better if you have less than 10% debt to credit, but at least 30% debt to credit is reasonable. So if your whole life revolves around 30%, so 30% debt to income and 30% debt to credit, where you're utilizing some of your credit to offset your income so that you can put money away for emergencies, your lifestyle should be about 30%, which is in line with the 30 to 35% of debt that an LLC can get written off on its taxes. which LLCs are personally transferred over to your W-2 LLC deductions. So all of this shows you that wealthy individuals live a lifestyle that costs them 30, 35% or less than the amount of money that they make in a year. And if you're spending more than that, you're spending too much fucking money. So you have to figure out a way to spend less money. Or if you can't because you are basic needs with the 90% or 95% of money that you're spending, then now you have to find a way to make more money without having to do more physical work to get that money. There's only two ways that you're going to do that. You're either going to do it by investing, or you're going to do it by finding a better paying job. You're not going to always find a better paying job, since Elon Musk and 13 different other companies, Boston Dynamics and other such, Digitech, that are all working on AI replacements for human workers. So you're going to have a harder time finding yourself a better paying job unless you're going into the tech industry or the oil industry. But at the end of the day, you got to find other ways to make money for you. And then the older we get, our physical bodies are not in it the way we used to be when we was younger. So that means that we have to put more effort into resting and still being able to get paid. So we got to find another way to make that money. So these platforms that vary in terms of the number of LSC listed stocks they offer, their fee structures, and additional features are all different. It's important for investors to compare these options and choose the platform that best suits their trading needs and preferences. Now, in England, there are various investment options available, each with its own unique characteristics and potential returns. And real estate, for instance, has traditionally been a popular choice all over the world. So offering a sense of security and tangible assets. The stock market, on the other hand, does provide access to a wide range of companies and industries, allowing investors to diversify their portfolios and minimize risk, while emerging industries like renewable energy, fintech, and biotech are also gaining traction, offering the potential for high returns, albeit with higher levels of risk. So one of the most promising investment opportunities currently trending in England is the renewable energy sector. With the UK government's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and meeting its net zero targets, this industry is poised for significant growth in the coming years. Another area that is gaining attention is property technology, or prop tech, which is transforming the way we live, work, and interact with our surroundings. And finally, there are growing demands for eco-friendly and sustainable products. So eco-friendly and sustainable products, driving innovation and growth in the consumer goods sector. Speaking of consumer goods, Canada is taking all American alcohol products off the shelf in protest of the tariffs. Talking about they're going to impact America where it hurts. They're also talking about shutting off the power. I don't live on the north side of America, so it don't affect me, but they're supposed to shut off the power. And in doing so, it is supposed to negatively impact America's ability to provide electricity. So we might experience an increase in electricity because there's going to be a higher demand for electricity from American electric companies. It is what it is. Better start buying y'all some dang generators, get y'all some solar panels. They have gas electric hybrid generators that are out there. They're very expensive, $10,000 to $15,000 a unit. So if you don't got it, don't go get it. But if you can afford it, especially if you have a solar panel system on your house, you should get one. But the solar panel system is supposed to redirect the power to the backup generators first, and then switch it over to the house, where the house will benefit from whatever backup power that's not already in your backup batteries. Now, I know that some people are in states in America that have incentives for solar power, and those incentives are limited to personal home size scenarios, but I myself would make it a point to try to get like an industrial size system that would store like a month's worth of power on a solar panel, or at least 2 or 3 weeks worth of power. And that's really like aiming high, but it's a lot of money to do. But if you have enough solar panels on your property, and you have enough generators and backup batteries on your property, the house that you have could potentially power the entire house for at least a month. And with the revolving power source of the sun, you're likely to never need power ever, which kind of makes it hard for SWAT to kick the door in, because I mean, if you're operating with an electric fence, they can't cut the power because the power comes from the sun, and we've been building this bad boy up like Goku in a hyperbolic time chamber. So we were ready for action. Either way, with Canada trying to turn off the power, it makes more sense for Donald Trump to put those solar powers on that $30 billion wall that was supposed to stretch 30 miles across the south of America, because those solar panels going across the south of the country would potentially power the United States, the south side of the United States, which will offset the electric utilization backflowing into the north side of the United States. And that's going to be one of the reasons why investing in solar and energy renewal companies is going to be a beneficial thing, because since they're going to focus their efforts on the success of being self-sufficient, anybody who's investing in that company will profit off of the products that are being made, and you'll profit off of the stuff that's being sold. So each of these options offers a unique combination of potential returns and risk levels, and it is essential to carefully evaluate them before making an investment decision. But that being said, they all have one thing in common. They're all driven by trends shaping the United States, and these that we're talking about with Europe are going to be shaping the trends of the UK and the UK's economic and society as a whole. Now, I never talk about investing in another country without talking about the availability to live there as well, and any incentives that they have for expats to go over there and invest their money into it. Because I tell you guys all the time that you can go somewhere else and do just as good, if not better, and be able to do it more effectively, because if your overhead is cheaper, then you have more money coming in that you can invest. If the money that you're making is less than the money that if the money that you're making is more than the money that you're spending, if you're making the same amount of money in another country that you was making in the United States, and the money that you're spending in another country is less than what you would have spent to live in the United States, you would be able to invest more money in more things and get more results faster. So with that being said, some of the cheapest places to buy houses in England is Sunderland. The average house in Sunderland is priced at 58,259 euros. That's approximately $75,198.31 in US dollars. That is excessively cheap. I should have figured out what size house that is. That is excessively cheap. Some of the cheapest houses in America are upward of $150,000. So the fact that this house is half the price of a one-bedroom house in America or a condo, which is like a 2-bedroom apartment, like that's pretty cheap. Now, another one, because this is the cheapest place to buy a house in England, but Bradford has an average house price of 69,903 euros, equivalent to approximately $90,158.09 in US dollars. Shildon, Shildon, they have the average price of $77,028, which is approximately $99,341.19 in US dollars. and Hull has an average house price of 120,000. So this is the upscale neighborhood over here, and they have an average house price of 120,000 euros, which is approximately $154,776 in US dollars. Stoke-on-Trent is another place in England. And Usman, correct me if I'm wrong, because these places exist and these are prices of properties in your country. The average house price of 130,000 euros, where the approximate equivalent is $167,734 in US denominations. That is crazy. That is crazy. The cheapest place to rent in England is Hull, where the average monthly rent is 500 euros, which is approximately $639.80. We don't have anything other than a studio apartment or a guest house, a mother-in-law house, a single unit efficiency in the backyard that is valued at that price in the United States. I don't think there are any properties that are renting for $639 for the entire property. Now, $639 for a room out of the property, maybe, but $639 for the property itself, not likely. Blackpool is another place that's good to rent. The average monthly rent in Blackpool is 460 euros with approximately $592.68 in US dollars. Sunderland, again, has an average monthly rent of 480 euros, which is approximately $619.10 in US money. And Stoke-on-Trent has an average monthly rent of 550 euros, which would be equivalent to approximately $709.39 in US dollars. And Bradford has an average monthly rent of 520 euros, which would be equivalent to approximately $670.70. Now, that is the just the cost of rent. The cost of food and utilities is about the same as the cost of rent, which puts the standard of living in England roughly around $1,000 to $1,500 a month. So you're looking at anywhere between $12,000 and $18,000 a year for the average standard of living. But that's still pretty good. And the affordable regions are northeast of England, and these areas are known for its low housing costs and affordable living. The northwest of England has cities like Barnsley, Blackpool, Preston, and Wigan that offers relatively low costs of living. And there's never a talk about a country until we start talking about those incentives. So we have some tax incentives for the foreign income and gains. FIG regime. Why they gonna call it FIG? I remember Fig Newtons, but they gonna call it FIGs. Effective April 6th of 2025. Newly UK resident individuals who have been non-residents for at least 10 years can benefit from a 4-year tax exemption on foreign income and gains, including distributions from non-resident trusts. These funds can be brought into the UK without additional tax charges during this period. I'm going to tell you guys something. We need to start looking into non-resident trusts in countries that don't charge taxes, because a non-resident trust in a country that doesn't charge you taxes allows you to have your private non-resident trust not be taxed by the U.S. government because it's off the books. And that country isn't going to tax you either. Also, I just found out earlier today that Taiwan is one of those countries that does not have a tax treaty with the U.S. where they're sharing tax information of their citizens that are U.S. citizens. So, woo, if you're trying to bypass taxation, you might want to look at what the tax rates are in Taiwan. We've talked about Taiwan in different aspects, but we've never talked about Taiwan's taxation methods. So we might have to look into that coming soon, but apparently we have to deal with Egypt and New Zealand first. So, in weeks to come. Now, these funds in the UK can be brought into the UK without additional taxes charged during that period as well. So overseas work days relief, OWR, will remain available for international mobile employees during the same 4-year period, allowing tax exemption on income earned for work performed outside the UK. Temporary repatriation facilities. Temporary repatriation facilities is, hold on a second. Special shout out to, I forgot. Special shout out to Collab Guzman, because he said preach a while back. I put his comment up there, but I didn't give him a shout out. He was first time on the show. Special shout out to Void, who is coming in simple, bro, trying to look smart. Hold on. I'm going to put this up here for a minute. Because I see you, Belarus. Because he said, I'm trying to look smart. I wasn't trying to look smart. I actually wasn't even trying to look cool. I actually was just trying to tell Usman how he can make a bunch of money in England because he lives in England. So Void, instead of you getting on a bandwagon and trying to figure out ways to make yourself financially successful, you sitting over here trying to mock my outfit. Where my tie match my shirt and my blazer match my tie. I told y'all just about every suit that I put together, everything matches the tie. Now, you trying to hate, Void, instead of you filling that void with knowledge. Pun intended. Got some knowledge for you. No diddy. Special shout out to Belarus. BNK Top. I can't say that. What's that? Nepekeko. Benkatop Neptikko. I don't know how to pronounce that, buddy. I tried. I'm terrible with non-American names. I'm terrible with ghetto names too. But special shout out to Belarus. You know, matter of fact, hold on. I got y'all real quick because I know I've been throwing out some shout outs to some of these countries. I got y'all a whole list of y'all that's been coming in consistently. I'm gonna give you a special shout out across the top of the screen there for all the countries that have been coming in and showing us love. I don't know if England is up there, but it will be. England and Europe will be up there soon. He said, bro, tilted. Yeah. What am I supposed to? I'm supposed to like up straight. What you want me to do, buddy? European characters, LMAO. Okay. European. That is not. Is Belarus? Because I was sworn that Belarus was a country of its own. Is Belarus in England? Because I didn't think it was. Void is Belarus next to England? You're telling me European characters? That doesn't look like European characters to me. But I guess when I seen those, they look like Arabic characters to me. That's what I thought they were. I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with the language. Part of the reason why I couldn't pronounce it. Now, I know. He said Europe isn't just England. It goes without saying. I didn't ask you if Belarus was in Europe. I asked you if Belarus was in England, smarty pants. Tampa Bay. Special shout out to Florida. Hello from the Bay Area. Tyrone Rowe. See, I can do that. These are normal names. Y'all got some names up here that I'm gonna tell you, it is what it is. But even teaching English, I don't know all these pronunciations. But Tyrone, what's up, my dude? Special shout out to Florida. He's in Tampa Bay, so special shout out to Hillsborough County. Orlando, Miami, Dade County, Duval. I'm gonna throw some folks on the map real quick from Florida. Aren't they normal to him though? I don't know. Is it normal to him? Because he could have like a really like left field. I can't do that one. Special shout out to Marbiter from Twitch. He says, yes, UNC. Yes, Unc. Oh. All right. I got to get on this one real quick. Now, I know y'all little jits is doing this whole Unc thing. And y'all calling like old for I'm more like granddad because you know I'm on the top side of middle age. So real quick, no, I'm not Mike Epps, but special shout out to I Do Sauce. I am the sauce. You can be the sauce. Is that a female? Oh Lord, I don't know. That's a lot of hair there. I am the sauce, but I gotta I gotta figure out what's up with the ideology of y'all calling folks Now, back in my day, we used to call folks sir and ma'am. And now y'all out the woodwork with Unc. What you calling the women? Auntie? Like I mean, I'm left field on that. I'm not a big fan. I'm not gonna tell you that you can't call me that. I mean, you call me whatever you want because you got Void up here calling me all kind of stuff. But I just feel like he said yes, Unc. I'm like so that means I can start calling y'all whippersnappers. Y'all jits out here wilding out. These Gen Zs is out here acting a fool. Nah, I can't call you nephew. I can't call you nephew. Whippersnapper. Get over here, whippersnapper. Matter of fact, go look. Youngin, go get me a switch. Go give me. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. If you're looking at us on Twitch, make sure that you follow us. We add you to the list of fans. And then Void gonna ask me, gotta hook him up with the barber. I guess you do need to be hooked up with the barber. I don't know. I can't see you, but if you ever want to jump on the show, you can always click that link. I tell y'all that if y'all appropriately addressed and you're going to come up here and be appropriate over the age of 18 and you want to click that link and jump into the comments, jump into my green room, I confirm that you're grown. You come up onto the show and give your shout outs. Special shout out to your homeboy, special shout out to your squad. But you know, you got to be appropriate when you're doing it. But if you're not appropriate, you're going to be out of here. You're going to be out of here like Sandman on Arsenio Hall. If you're not old enough to know who Arsenio Hall is, I don't know. You might not be old enough to be on the show. Anyway, because we talk about this, that, and everything in between on the show. And with that, we also talk to you guys about how to improve yourselves financially and improve yourselves socially, improve your first person decision making skills so that you guys can make better decisions so that your future isn't as bad as your present, which is definitely better than your past. Because if your past suck, if money's tight today and you want to have a better future, I'm just telling you guys how to make it happen. Today is straight for Usman because he's in England and he's been asking me last week what was going on with some of the ways where he can invest in his country. And I do extensive digging and I make sure that I find that information out for you guys. You said lined you up with one eye closed and the other hand tied behind my back. Saved it. Okay. You should, because I've never had anybody line me up with any eyes closed. And if you had one hand tied behind your back, I definitely got out of there without paying for the lineup. Anyway, they have a reduced tax ratio in England. The reduced tax rate of 12% will be applied to remittance of FIG for tax year 2025-2026 and for 2026-2027 year, making it easier for foreign nationals to bring funds into the United Kingdom. So business investment relief is also an incentive that they're going to have. Show the comment that ain't it, you read it wrong. Show what comment ain't it? You ain't what Oh, this is Michael. Special shout out to Michael. Michael be coming in backwards, and Michael be Michelle, I mean, I think I don't really know which one that is. Michael, Michelle, whichever one. Michael be coming up here left field, talking about all kind of ridiculousness. And then he going to come up here talking about cheap shoes. I look, I love it. I love it. Because if he think that these glasses that cost way more than Ray-Bans is cheap, hey, do you. You think the suit is cheap? Hey, do you. Your reason being is because as a wealthy individual, you are supposed to look poor anyway. I'm not supposed to put on a he said even got a green screen. I got a green screen, y'all. I got a green screen. All right. I love that. I love that. Like this chair is a green screen, y'all. I don't understand. Like I've never invested in a green screen, but I don't I'm not objective to a green screen. But he tells me that everything is cheap. And it's like, all right, that's fine, because wealthy people dress poor. Poor people dress rich. They buy expensive stuff to make it look like they got it like that. But you're clothes poor because you got all this expensive $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 attire, and then that attire is not theirs. Like, I mean, that's all they got. Same way those people that's got the expensive cars. That's all they got. And then, you know, they rags to riches on top of that, or rags without riches on top of that, like a Aladdin scenario, you know. But wealthy people, they buy what they need. Look at Elon Musk, a billionaire. He has on a Fruit of Balloon t-shirt, a blazer, something like this, and some jeans, some Wrangler jeans with some regular black sneakers on, and that's it. That's it. If he wears socks, that's it. And he's a billionaire. He's not wearing Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Fernando Rodriguez, or nothing like that. He's not doing none of that stuff. You know, Donald Trump, he might have a pair of Doc Martens on, but that's it. He wasn't wearing those $9,000 Confederate flag shoes that was being sold at Walmart for $400. You understand? These guys, billionaires, dress within reason, and they make it make sense. And then, okay, so we got a lot of ridiculous now. Void says the brand. What about the brand? What is the brand this time? You've got Fifth Avenue, Saks, Fifth Avenue. Now, then he says the bookshelf, bro. What about the bookshelf? He said, look at the furniture. Exactly. Look at the furniture. That exactly right. Look at the furniture. You don't need expensive furniture. I'm on a podcast. If I was sitting here with a gold throne and bricks of cash on a table, I would get audited by the IRS. But if I look like I'm sitting in an old ass grandpa chair that was inherited from the Civil War, and I'm wearing clothes that could be resembled as hand-me-downs from a thrift store or Goodwill, then I look broke as fuck. But if I got money when I get off this podcast, bro, the IRS ain't auditing my ass because I look broke as fuck. I look normal. I look like the average everyday person. You don't target yourself by looking rich, and you don't target yourself by telling people how much money you got. He says, don't you just say your glasses more expensive than Ray-Bans? Sounds like someone dressing rich. No, actually, these are prescription glasses, simple. And because these are prescription glasses, I'm required to pay $805 for these glasses every time I go and buy a pair of frames, because they're $399 a lens. It just so happens that that's what my vision is like. They're corrective lenses. However, since you're not, oh, wow. Since you're not familiar with that, I understand. He says, you don't have nothing. You are right. I don't have anything, because the key to being rich is to own nothing and control everything. So I'm not supposed to have anything. The excesses are ridiculous. Well, that's good. That's the reason why we're not dealing with the excess. He says, bro, glazing. I don't know what you mean by that, youngin'. He says, see better, bro. Yes, I do see better. That's why I wear them. That's exactly why I wear them, so that I can see you 40 yards down, which keeps you in my scope. That's the whole purpose. I'll see you before you see me in the dark. Anyway, foreign nationals can invest pre-April 2025 on FIG into qualifying UK businesses without incurring a tax charge that encourages businesses to invest in the UK scenario. He says, just see better though, save cash. Well, yeah. I see better by buying my glasses, and I invest to make cash, and then I have this nifty ability to utilize things to my advantage so that I can buy myself another pair. Because as you guys seen, that I alternate between two different pairs on the show. And actually, we have to take a trip to Tennessee to go get a third pair. So when we go and grab the third pair, then we'll have three pairs that will be rotating out. Either way. Yeah, you're right. He says, oh, bro, just see better so you don't got to get lenses. Yeah, so just fix your vision by not having astigmatism, and then you'll automatically be able to see better. That's just like wishing upon a star, bro. That's like saying for you to not be poor just by not being poor. It makes absolutely no sense. You have to put effort into improving your situation, and sometimes it costs money to make money. That's the cost of doing business. However, since I have this pretty nifty podcast, everything that you see on this podcast is called the work uniform. So the glasses, the suit, everything that I have to wear on this podcast, the headphones, everything, the chair, the bookshelf in the background, all of it is written off on my taxes. So out of the money that I do make, the cost of the business as a podcaster writes off all kinds of shit. Therefore, out of the profits from my efforts all over the world, the actions such as having this podcast can be a debt, and that debt can be a tax benefit. I'm gonna leave that up there for a minute. Bro, using the podcast to write things off. Wow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because this is considered a job. I'm here every night of the week, 7 days a week. So this is considered a business. Under an LLC, under a tax identification number for a business, all expenses to operate this platform is part of the business. The website, part of the business. Any software that's utilized in order to stream, edit videos, create content, all part of the business. Computers, cell phones, cameras, green screens, laptops, webcams, whatever is used to make this successful, all expenses in the business. So, and then whatever you wear for the business, for work purposes, written off on the business. So yes, sir, that's right. Use the podcast as a tax write-off. So technically, I don't have to make $1 off the podcast to make $1 off the podcast. Because I can write off everything that I spend on this podcast as a tax benefit and then profit somewhere else doing something else. So learn smarter, think harder, and do less more often. Take that advice for me, Void. Now, immigration incentives. There are electronic travel authorizations, ETAs. And from January 8th, 2025, non-European nationals will require an ETA to enter the UK. That's the whole United Kingdom. So this simplifies the entry process for short-term visits and enhances border security. ETAs will cost 16 euros and remain valid for 2 years. So you can grab you an ETA and pop into their country. There he says it. Learn smarter, think harder. Quote of 2025. Exactly. Exactly. And you're going to get a lot of knowledge from this and that because we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Since I told you guys before, we're already tagged on 3 different locations in Wikipedia, one for business and finance, the other one for knowledge, and the other one for social improvement. I was impressed by that, and I'm still taken aback by it. But I'm glad that that's how we are identified, as opposed to the water dance or cooking with Kaya. So, It's one of the very few podcasts in social media that is excessively underrated, where you come here, you learn something, you benefit from stuff. I'm not just a motivational speaker. I actually tell you where you can go and what you can do to make your situation better. As Usman will tell you, you ask me a question, a legitimate question that is an appropriate question, I'll bring you back a solution more often than not, and probably bring more than one solution if I'm going to do a whole show about it, which means that instead of something like a life coach, instead of just woe ways me and have somebody preach to you about how you can be better, how you should do better, how there are ways for you to be better, I actually tell you what you can do. And if you miss one of the shows, you can go back and watch some of the previous shows over the past year, over the past 9 months, and look at all the different ways, everything from creating your own business to creating your own trust to, and I was only talking about creating trust in the United States. Now we're like, look, we need to talk about international trust. Because if there's an opportunity for a non-resident trust, I don't have to live in that country to create a trust in that country, which means if I can create a non-resident trust in a country that doesn't tax my trust, I can have all of the dividends, beneficiary shares that is given to me as a beneficiary going through that trust, which means that I don't have to claim that as an income, which makes it non-taxable. So when I told you before that beneficiaries can end up receiving money from a trust, if the trust is non-taxable income, if it's non-taxable from the trust, it's not taxable to you. So if they're not doing a Schedule K-1 to you, then they're not telling the U.S. government that they gave you money that's supposed to be taxed, which means that the U.S. government is not looking at that money to be taxed. But if you have a business trust, if you have a land trust, if you have a capital trust, and then you have a beneficiary trust, then those four trusts come together and have all of your money funnel into the one that starts paying you out. And then you don't have to give the government nothing out of your pocket. Somewhere along the line, something is going to pay taxes somewhere because businesses have to file taxes. The trusts are going to be individual if they're irrevocable. So they may file taxes as well. But if all the money works itself out, you're in a situation where nothing needs to be paid nowhere. And the whatever does get paid is the cost of doing business. And the rest of the money goes into your pocket. Now, keep in mind, though, I keep telling you certain things like those of you that's got kids in public schools. If you take that money and donate some of that money that would have went to the U.S. government for taxes and you donate that to public schools, even if you don't have kids in public schools, just to make the public school system better. If you donate that money to public schools, you can use it as a tax write-off anyway. So if they're going to take $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 out of the $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 that you're making that year, if they're going to take that money out of your check, you might as well give 30 grand to the school. Make yourself a G. That way, when your kids go to that school, if you ever have kids and your kids go to that school, they're going to know your dad or your mom because your parents invested in this school before you started attending this school. So when you go to that school, the teachers will not treat your kids like garbage. That's it. Which means that your kids start being treated like royalty in public school. So broke folks like Void will have kids in school where they're going to be like, whoa, his parents are set because, the school is getting X number of dollars. Like his parents bought the last 5 buses that took us on a field trip. And the basketball court is named after his family. And the computer lab is named after his uncle. And you know what I'm saying? Make a name for yourself on a small scale by taking care of your community with the extra money that you would have gave Donald Trump or Elon Musk. I'm just saying. If you got to spend it wisely, because if you spend it that way, guess what? It's a tax write-off, dollar for dollar tax write-off. And in certain states like Arizona, they'll give you an extra $400 back on that dollar for dollar tax write-off. So you give them $4,000, they'll give you $4,400 because they appreciate the fact that you put money into the school. So I'm just telling you, there's ways that we can make money for us. And when we have to spend, we can spend it in a way where we profit from what we spent. Now, there's sponsorship management systems, SMS, updates. The UK is updating its online system to make it easier for employers to sponsor foreign workers and manage compliance duties, and this aims to attract skilled workers globally. Increased minimum salary thresholds, where employees sponsoring foreign workers must meet updated salary thresholds, ensuring competitive wages while attracting skilled professionals. The other incentives are the travel cost exemptions. And this is one of the things that I was telling you guys that would be beneficial for us when we start traveling the world. Employers can fund travel costs for foreign employees working in the UK for up to 4 years after April 2025 without tax implications, reduced from 5 years previously. With that being said, investing in England can be a highly profitable venture, but it requires careful consideration, thorough research, and a clear understanding of the market. By exploring the various investment options available, staying up to date with the latest developments, and avoiding common pitfalls, you can increase your chances of success and achieving your financial goals. Special shout out to KJ. Kylie, can you see through girls' clothes with those glasses Mad Magazine used to sell them? No. And some of these girls, you wouldn't want to see through their clothes because you don't know what's in there, bro. You don't know what's in. Some of them might not even be girls these days. The president just made it illegal to have those type of operations, so some people are going to be pissed off coming soon. But no, I don't see through those clothes. But the good news is that because women can't look me in the eye, they can't tell what I'm staring at if I wasn't looking them in the eye. So if in the event that they were dressing semi inappropriately and I was going to subconsciously entertain that without giving it away that I was entertaining that, I could face them without them knowing exactly what I'm eyeballing. So that's a benefit. If I decided to be a dirty old man in the moment, there's the ability to do so without scrutiny because you can't see what I'm looking at. However, it sucks to wear these glasses and go play poker because everybody can see my hand. So so I don't go unless I'm doing a roulette machine or slots or something like that, which is a waste of money if you were ever going to do that. But if I was going to go do it, I would have to play like one of those video poker machines, because like playing against other people, I can't see the cards without the glasses on, and with the glasses on, everybody can see my cards because they're reflective. You can see what's going on in the background. So he said, KJ says, just jiving, bud. Hey, I don't take no offense. It's all good. It's all good. You're a lot more appropriate than Void and Michelle was just a moment ago, so I don't mind. Make sure you like and subscribe though. Smash those buttons, smash those heart stars and horseshoes on the sidelines of the thing, because the algorithm is starting to work finally. It took a massive turn against small channels for that period of time when the president election was out there and Trump was killing it on all of those billions and billions of views. YouTube actually puts 97% of its traffic on 3% of the most successful podcasts. So all of the smaller channels and all of the newer channels don't get as much visibility. The rest of the 97% of podcasters have to share the remaining percentage, the remaining 3%. So we all have like this tug of war, and eventually a small podcast that doesn't give up and keep it pushing turns over a leaf and starts drawing in a larger crowd. And what it takes is for dedicated people like you guys to pop in and learn something, crack a few jokes, have a little bit of fun along the way, keep it reasonably appropriate, but also, remember that there's kids watching. So there's certain things we can say and there's certain things we shouldn't. But those of you that join the membership, when we start getting off cuff, yeah, we can do that in the members only channels when we're doing a live that is exclusive to the members. But until we have a large enough quantity of members to make it exclusive to the members only, some of the content that I'm putting in the channel, in the community, is exclusive to the members. But the lives will be open to the public for at the moment. But we're what, like 22,000 at the time, so we don't have a bunch of people. We got a few. Different stuff on at night. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. We got stuff a different topic just about every day. So tomorrow we're going to be doing social improvement, personal improvement, self-empowerment stuff, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I take comments that I get from the fans, turn them into audio files, and do reactions to them on the show, so you guys can see what I read when I'm responding to a lot of these fans. So you'd be like, holy shit, this is some rough stuff. But a lot of the times I got something positive to say, and a lot of times not so much so. Special shout out to Richard heckling for the third time, I think, because I think he's been here before. Murray Head. He said, ancient camera technology. You darn Skippy. My Lenovo Yoga 7i has an awesome camera that is operating at 720p. So you're getting the best quality, low grade pixelation that I could select, because the 1080p subjects us to a large quantity of freeze frames, and I don't like drop frames. He says fans, LOL, you goofy talking about fans. Well, a fan is anybody who takes the time out of their day to come back and see it again, and says this is the third or fourth time that you've been here. That makes you a fan. So you about as goofy as I do. Audio's decent because I got a gamer microphone on my head. Do you think that these are like Dre Beats or something like that, like Bose or something like that? Nah, bro. I got these off of Temu for like $25, and they gave me $5 back because it took long for them to ship. He said, well, bye then. Oh yeah, of course, I'll see you the next time you pop back in. I really appreciate you continuously dropping by. I love the hecklers. They have to come in and make themselves known because they're used to negative attention only. I love it. Well, I recommend the channel. You don't have to recommend the channel. Everybody else can like and subscribe. You don't have to, but apparently you liked and subscribed, because that's why it's showing back up on your For You page in order for you to come back into the channel. Because I mean, if you didn't like the channel, you wouldn't be here. If you didn't like the comments and the content and the information being provided, you would not have come back for the fourth time this week, because you were here on Sunday and today's Wednesday. But I greatly appreciate you keep coming back, though. Thank you so much. I mean, it just shows how much you really love being here. I really appreciate everybody else for joining the podcast as well. As we went through the world of investments in England, don't forget to leave your comments and thoughts down below. And if you are looking for more investment tips and insights, be sure to check out a lot of the other stuff that we have in the channel, and a lot of the other areas that we're going to be covering in weeks to come, because we at least once a week on Mondays converse about the things that are happening in the government, the U.S. government, with the changes that are being made by Donald Trump and the Trump administration, and the whatever those progresses do to impact the local economy. We talk about all of that stuff. So we're probably going to go more into detail about the stocks that are plummeting and negatively impacted by Canada taking products off the shelf. We're probably going to be talking about that on Monday. We talk about other business and finance opportunities on Tuesday, such as stock options and other stuff, other ways to make money for us, because investing outside of getting a side hustle, which requires you to work more time somewhere else, investing is one of the better ways to put your money to work so that your money makes money for you. And then after that, on Wednesdays, we typically talk about other countries that you can invest in and live in that is less expensive than America. There we go. Special shout out to Tervis Used. Tervit Used. Okay. Yeah. Tariff tax on Americans. So Spazal. Well, yeah, we're going to be talking about the tariff taxes on Monday as well, because apparently we talked about it this week on Monday, how he is imposing 25% on Mexico and Canada. And we also talked about how China is getting 20% instead of 10%. And then he is doing equal tariffs on countries that are charging tariffs on us. So whatever the dollar price is that we have to pay tariffs into their country, they're going to have to pay tariffs into our country, which is going to offset the debt. So instead of us paying them more tariffs to send stuff to their country than they pay to send stuff to our country, where they're ultimately making 75% profit off the US. Now it is basically dollar for dollar. So by doing this tariff war on a shorthand, it's likely to cause other countries to stop doing tariffs because they're not going to make any money off of the US, because the US is going to tax them to send stuff to America as much as America is being taxed to send stuff to their country. And the funny thing is that Americans are more wasteful than other countries. So all of their profits that they get that's primarily coming from America, they're going to lose that with the tariffs, which is going to cause them to like reduce tariffs, which is going to reduce the cost of shipping, which should reduce the cost of the price, which should negatively impact inflation over time. But in the immediate, we're going to have a spike in the cost for sales. We're going to have a reduction in distribution of products. We're going to have a higher demand because we're going to have a lower supply. Americans are still wasteful, so we're still going to have a higher quantity of individuals that are paying extra money to get the limited availability of whatever items that they're buying, because they buy it so that they can have it, so that they can say that they have it, and then they flaunt it to the people who couldn't get it, even though they overpaid for it, the way people are paying $130,000 for a $100,000 Tesla that debuted at $70,000. It is technically $60,000 overpriced. And it doesn't even have 100% of the features that they offered in the initial debut with the initial pilot program. And some of the software and technology that was supposed to be in a Cybertruck is now in the Cybercab, the RoboCab that Tesla's going to be releasing for $30,000. So you can get the 30 times rolled steel and the potentially spend extra money on the bulletproof everything and get your AI $30,000 Tesla, probably get it for $60,000, self-driving capabilities where you can sit in the back seat, never get a ticket again for the rest of your life, and not have to pay $150,000 for a fucking truck. I don't know, guys. I kind of feel like the $30,000 car make more sense, especially when you don't feel like driving. And then if you got a car like that, you ain't got to trust your friends with driving a car. You could program that bad boy yourself. It'll take them where you want them to be took, and then it'll come back. You ain't even got to leave the house. You can drop them off and it'll come back. Have it locked up where they can't control it. It's only controlled from the Bluetooth connection with the cell phone. They wouldn't be able to do nothing with it. Either way, you're going to be talking about stuff like that on Monday. We're going to be talking about the businesses that are impacted, how much they're impacted. So if you guys haven't been pulling out of the liquor industry, I'm going to tell you today, you probably should, because they're about to take a dip. They haven't yet, but they will. And we're going to talk about how much of a dip that they have taken next week, Monday. But Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to be talking about ways to improve ourselves. First-person accountability. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you guys, I really appreciate y'all coming to the show. We got about 75% fellas on the podcast today. So keep it coming. Keep showing up. Keep showing your support. Keep heckling. Haters got to hate. If I don't got haters on the channel, I ain't doing it right. So for the 5 or 7 of y'all that came in here and had something negative to say, by all means, keep coming back. I love it. I love it. Trevitt used. Hopefully I see you on Monday so that you and I could talk more about the tariff tax, because I definitely want your insight on it, especially on how it's impacting you in your country. And for the rest of you guys, Usman, I hope that you got enough information off of today's channel to help you with your investment opportunities that doesn't interfere with your religious beliefs. And anybody else that has any questions that they want me to look into, let me know and I'll make a show about it if it's appropriate. Because if you ever send me a message or comment on a show after the show, I always read as many of the comments as possible. And then I come back and I try to special shout out to Blum King. I am looking at the camera, but I mean, I don't make eye contact when that's going on. So definitely make sure that you guys like and subscribe and come and see me because we're live 7 nights a week. Ladies, what we always say is as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. Pat had one that's really interesting. He says, my cousin has an escort addiction. I can't get through him. Any advice? He's not proud of it. His reasoning is he can't find a wife. Well, your cousin doesn't have an addiction. Your cousin has a financial investment, because that's part of the Riley theory. Why are we spending so much money renting girls when we can simply just pay them for the transactional engagements that we're benefiting from out of spending the money on the girl? Now, he can, instead of quantity over quality, save his money and invest it. And by saving his money and investing it, yeah, it might be a lonely road to travel. Instead of wasting all of his money on right now in the moment entertainment, he could potentially build himself up to the status level of qualifying for a higher value woman, so that he would have the woman at his house on a regular basis that would do for him what he wants her to do for him. Because the amount of money that you're spending here in America for an escort, $300, $500, $700, $1,500 a month or more, you could be getting a woman in the Philippines for $500 a month. So for the whole month, and whatever you're looking for, she got you. They got wife contracts out there in the Philippines where you like literally pay her salary to be your wife, and she'll fulfill all the wifely duties and not complain about it. And it's $500 a month. Like, you can't date an American woman less than $500 in 2 days. So and you're not even getting 2 full days out of that. You're actually only going to get like 2 to 4 hours at the most each day. So you're paying like if you're paying $250 per date, you're paying $500 for 2 dates to get about 4 hours worth of her time. But she ain't going to do nothing for you. You're impressing her, entertaining her. So truth be told, if you're going to get a woman that's going to wait on you hand and foot, take care of you, look out for your family members for $500 a month, maybe your cousin could spend $2,500 on getting himself a passport and a plane ticket, fly to the Philippines. If you bring an extra 15 grand with you, you got enough money to stay in the Philippines, get her U.S. passport together, and then fly her back to America. And then you've got a loyal and dedicated wife that is cheaper than an American woman that has the Western traditional cultures that the American women don't know nothing about, that they call oppressive because their feminist mindset put them in a masculine position of being a man. And you will have you a better quality woman. That's my advice to you. Make sure you tell your cousin that. You can snippet this part of the show. You can have them come and watch the podcast. Tell them go in 2 hours in and then go see what Xander had to say about that, because that's probably the most effective way. And you're less likely to catch a disease. So, I mean, if you instead of spending $300 to $500 per chick for one night stands, or if you're a regular with the same chick, you could instead spend $500 a month with a chick from the Philippines. And if I remember correctly, Taiwan does the same thing. Japan, China. So the only difference is the age limits in those countries, which is different from the age limits in America. Now, you can't get one of those underage individuals and fly them to America because you'll get a trafficking charge for that. However, if they're over the age of 18, though, you can definitely fly them to America and you can make it work. And if you catch one of those underprivileged families, you might be able to get 2 for the price of 1. I'm just telling you. I'm not encouraging it, but, hey, if you're going to do it irresponsibly, I'm going to show you the most affordable way to do it. Make sure that you check all the local laws before you go out there and act a fool. Make sure that you check with the embassy before you go out there and act a fool. You don't want to be that young buck who got caught. Now he was doing like 2 to 4 years. And then you don't have to worry about sitting in a foreign jail because what's her name? The former vice president, she's not here to come and bail you out for being stupid as an American. So don't go to another country acting bad now. He said, or you're just taking advantage of someone who doesn't know better. Sometimes families bring over young women and keep them as slaves. Well, if you're going to be irresponsible about it and be cruel, I mean, I can't really help that. I would prefer that you not. But for those of us that are good men that are looking for a good woman, the best ones that you can find are in the Philippines because they're loyal, they're dedicated, they're devoted, and they don't ask for much. They don't expect much out of you. They just want to be taken care of. And if you take care of them, they will take care of you the way men expect to be taken care of by a woman in America. We just don't have women in America willing to do that as often as we would hope. He says people have landed their asses in federal prison for this behavior. Well, yes, if you go and grab them and bring them over here for a slave, then yeah, you could land yourself in a lot of time for stuff like that. Good men, quote, yeah, good men, self-proclaimed good men. Those men that are looking for a loyal, dedicated wife so that he can spoil and take good care of her and pamper her, but the women in America don't deserve that because they're not willing to spoil and pamper the men in return. So yeah, good men, not Chris Brown, not Bill Cosby, not R. Kelly, not Puff Daddy, not Mystical, not Mike Tyson, not Ray Rice. We're talking about good men. Okay. So there's a big difference there. Either way, that's all I got for you guys for tonight. Special shout out to Tervit Used. He's got wise words, and I love wise words on the show on a regular basis. Special shout out to Pat. Special shout out to Usman for tonight. Special shout out to Mr. Pibbs, Max Opposer, his dad Joe, TF Fireball, Omni81, Liberty Twitcher, Red Void from Twitch. Also, special shout out to the Marbiter from Twitch, first time tonight coming on to the show. I really appreciate you guys coming to the show. And wait, hold on. Before I slide out of here, for Israel, hashtag special shout out Israel is in there. Since he is in here, I want to make sure that we throw it up there for Israel, because I don't think I've actually given. All right, buddy, you don't have to put it up there 3 times. You only got to put it up there once. If it's not inappropriate, it'll go up on the screen, so you don't got to keep throwing it into the comment section. It says stop to donate. All right, there we go. I keep telling y'all, if y'all act inappropriate, I'm gonna have to take you out. So y'all got to start behaving better. Either way, I really appreciate you guys coming to the show. Thank you guys very much. Make sure that you see me tomorrow. We should start around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Well, 10:30 Central Standard Time. It's about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's about 7:30 California time. It's about 4:30 a.m. Green Minutes time, 4:30 a.m. Universal Standard Time. I want to thank you guys again for coming to This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I will see you guys tomorrow night.
That's my personal command. I'm not mounted on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.